145. Five more, Allie. Five more.
God, no, my brain's gonna break. Oh my god.
It's already broken. We've done 145 of these. It's gone. Out the
Oh
window.
god. Oh god.
So yeah. Welcome everyone to the 145th. Today we got the ever lovely Allie Claw,
Hello.
the ever fluffy Zai,
Yeah.
And the
and
ever zombie zom.
hi. And in the background there is a cute pencil case who is unfortunately sick. So send hugs, plushies, and hugging plushies to them.
That's adorable.
And plushies delivering tea that will then hug while you drink the tea.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds like honestly the best evening in the world.
Maybe we should just make magnetic plushies with like magnetic hooves so they can like hug you.
Could work.
All right, so let's look at the first picture before we go down the rabbit hole of building plushies again. The first one is by Deluxe Flame, and it was posted 5 days ago. Sorry no one got to it, buddy. That's how the subreddit seems to go these days, unfortunately.
That's what we're for.
Yeah. All right. So they originally posted just a line or a quick sketch of a pony sitting, and then they went ahead, scanned it and painted over it digitally. And so this is that. It's so off, I almost hate it, but in the way it's almost feeling unique or reeking of newbie artist. My feelings on this piece are everywhere. Your feelings on every piece you do will basically be everywhere. Like, your epitome of the greatest picture you've ever done, you're going to be ticked off at it. There's going to be points and elements that you're going to be like, I stared at that stupid leg for 30 minutes and I kept redrawing it and I never got it right.
Yeah.
That's when you gotta walk away. Walk away.
It's seriously the most helpful thing to do sometimes. It's just like, let's go take a break and do literally anything else and then come back. And actually, it helps so much.
It does. So let's talk this horse. We've done a bit of critique with you in the past, mostly on proportions and some on lines. Looks like your lines are improving. Your proportions are getting better. Let's just keep working on them. I would say overall, your horse is getting better. We see both ears are there. Congrats. We can tuck that other ear a bit further behind because if we recognize the head as being a ball of happiness, we got the ear on the side here. Whoop. And then we have the ear behind that curve. So you would actually see the curve of the head and it would be overlapping the ear. Overlapping is a very important tool for you to use and abuse to your best possible abilities because it helps create depth in your picture. It's the reason why your head placed where it is with your mane behind it makes the mane appear 3D on the image. Depth is formed by overlapping. It's crazy.
And if I can get my... Oh. That's not the color I picked. What's something will sharpen me pie. There we go. So what LD's done a very, very nice circle there. Top grade A circle there, bud. So let me go a step further. I can see in your picture you have got some like some nice shape to your head. If we just like turn this off a sec, you can see like you haven't just done a straight up circle. I like that. I think that's really cool. So it's just about like refining how you place shapes and where you put those proportions. So I'm just gonna do some doodling while the other guys talk. I think in general, I think the head is very big compared to the body and the legs. She looks like a little filly Pinkie Pie, which might be the case because there's no Q mark. If that's what you're going for, cool. That is what you have accomplished. If not, then that's just the impression that I get from this drawing. So I hope that informs.
Yeah, I was actually just enlarging the legs because of that same reason. The proportions are a little bit off. That's fine. Don't expect to get them right the first time or the third time or the fifth time or the 100th time. It's a slow and annoying process to get it down. And then you start abusing it and breaking it. And it's all sorts of wonderful craziness. But you'll get there. So my suggestion is still the same as we gave you last time. Make sure you use and abuse those references. One reference, likely not enough. Get a few. Create like a lovely what is it, collage of references. If you go look at like a lot of high end artists will have these like boards hanging around with these sorts of collages of ideas and things that they're sort of trying to pull inspiration from, like color palettes and trees and a bunch of subjects standing in certain poses. They're like, I want to combine this into some unique, nifty thing. So do it. Do that. Go abuse your references. Get a lot of them. Don't limit yourself with one.
What is happening here?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm trying to make a selection. It's being meanie pants.
Are you selected? It's on layer foreground.
I'm trying to move my actual drawing that
Okay.
I've been doing.
No.
Now it's not moving anything. I was doing it. I haven't moved something a tiny bit. I feel okay. So I'll just describe what I was trying to do since it's being difficult. I feel like looking at what we've done now, the head needs to move this way, just a little bit. I was trying to illustrate why I think this, why I think it would look nicer moved a little bit, but that seems like it's going to be difficult to do. So let's just see. Let's do some. I don't want to rub out all of LD's drawing. I'll just use this layer for now. Just do some little sketching of how the body could go. So let's see. Let's put a little bean in there. Very proud looking Pinkie Pie. I want to puff that chest out. I'll get to the fluff in a sec. Let's give her a cute little pinky smile. Cheek like I was doing before. Sometimes things take a couple tries. That's okay. You don't have to do everything in a single stroke. Sometimes you just need to build it up, and that's cool. That's okie doke. So something I see people doing a lot is they do the eyes sort of like pointed very inwards, but I think that personally it doesn't look nice to me. I know they certain eye types in the show, and I think sometimes they might go that way, but I think the eye should always curve out because like this is the bridge of the nose to me. Like you can see where I curve it in. That's just my personal style, but that's where I think the eye should go. I think they should bend outwards. Cute little pinky face, cute little pinky lashes. Don't forget to give these lashes some nice curve. You can like increase the angle a little bit as you go along to make them sort of jut out at an angle. And then we're gonna get to the body. Woo! Let's get some nice proud chest fluff in there. Woo! CPC needs all the fluff because she's ill, so she needs us to appropriate the amount of fluff. Yeah. So if we move the body along here, then she's in a much more natural sitting position and not being forced to have her head leaning forward, if that makes any sense. And then we just got her tail popping out. It's super fluff ball tail. It's going to be covering probably most of her because it's so fluffy. This is something I always struggle with as well. It's like, oh, if I've drawn a nice body, I don't want to cover it up with this next part. Well, do it. If you have to limit yourself, then maybe the part that you're covering up with can be just as nice. So don't be afraid to do that. Okay, it's that cute like heart. I think you did a nice job with the hair. Pinky's hair can be difficult to learn. I should also mention my Pinkie Pie plushie is watching me do this, and also it's her birthday today.
It's her birthday. Did you draw a birthday picture?
I was trying to, then I had to go out today, so I didn't have time.
You better still make time before the end of the day. I believe in you.
So yeah, we have adorable, cute, just add more fluffy hair, adorable Pinky Pink. So it's just about moving some of those positionings and moving some of the proportions about, and you can make anything super cute. And it's not. Don't think in any way that this is some kind of like, it's too hard and it's too much to learn. It's too amazing for me to ever do. Like, you can absolutely do this. It's just about like looking at reference and looking what other people do, and just thinking about how you can interpret things, and then looking at each piece and deciding what about this piece can be improved. And sometimes you might not see that right away. Sometimes you have to go away, draw more pictures, do more messy pictures that suck, do some pictures that are great, whatever, and then come back and you look at one that you did ages ago, and then suddenly you can see everything that's wrong with it. See, oh yeah, what was I thinking? That eye is way too high up. It's going over the ear, or oh, why is that tail coming out of the butt? or just some really subtle things, but like, oh, the head's too far forward, or his chin's too low, or something like that. Things that you just didn't notice before when you were drawing. So you will always be able to improve just from drawing, even if you're not like learning some secret lesson of how to do light and shadow or anything like that. You just by drawing, you will get better, and you'll start to understand how things come together better.
Wait, there's secret lessons for that?
Not really. That's the common misinterpretation, that there's some secret that you can learn for art and suddenly you're great at art.
I hear you go to the art training chamber and it slows time and you train there for hundreds of years.
And you just spend 100 years watching Bob Ross.
But not actually doing any Bob Ross, just watching him.
Well, you can do
That's
it
where
until you
he
run out
went
of paint
to
supplies in the
active.
time chamber.
You watch him live.
Yeah, you just have a TARDIS and you just go back and you watch actual Bob Ross and you paint with him.
All right, let's go on to the next one then. We're going to go down. What happened to
Down
down?
we go.
There it is.
That shark pony's on layer 3 apparently. That's why it was invisible.
Good job, me. Well, too late to move it now.
Let's just draw on layer 4 that I made.
Yep.
Or, actually move the layer, but it's not too late to do. But okay.
So this one's by Lucardo117, and they only just posted it 37 minutes ago.
Ooh,
Shark
goody.
pony.
So more or less an oceaner, but I was drawing Shark Pony anyway, and I figured it fit the theme. This is for the weekly theme thing that happens on our subreddit. The ever amazing Maze Temporal posts a new theme every week-ish, give or
Oh,
take.
that's Maze?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And they'll post it, and then it's just sort of a prompt to draw. And it's well worth
Yay.
doing, because a lot of the time you're just sitting staring at a tablet going, what the heck am I going to draw? Oh my gosh, I need some inspiration. Anyone got an idea? Then he's just like, yeah, I got
Maze
one.
got you covered.
Just go look at the subreddit. It'll be there.
So they're gonna give the shark a little spiky tooth. Because...
Oh yeah, totally needs a little sharky tooth. Overall, I don't see actually any real big issues with here. I would enlarge the front hooves a little bit.
I think the tail needs some enlarging, but that's why I'm just drawing here, because I just figured it'd be easier for me to do a little thing. Something when I'm trying to mess with my own pictures, and it's like, oh, I want to improve this. I can spend like an hour going over and over everything, trying to like change things a little bit to be better. When a lot of the time I'm just like getting in my own way, and it's so much easier just to start from scratch. It sounds so painful to do. When I wouldn't say that this needs to, obviously, but sometimes it can help just to like do some doodling on the side and figure out like how can this be different. And certainly sometimes if a drawing's really not working, then just starting from scratch can just be so much better than just trying to fix. Because you sort of give yourself a bias. You're looking at the drawing and you're trying to fix this drawing when maybe the drawing's just not working. Let's see. So I really like the posing you've got here. I feel like the tail is fine. It's not broken or anything, but I feel like we could do more. We could make it a big, weighty tail. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab a different color. Oh, I lost my little blood. Okay, so we're gonna have a nice, big. It's still gonna come out the butt. That's the problem. nice, big, thick thing. And it's gonna like curve around, sort of hit the ground a little bit. So like then it's just gonna flatten. We've got like the little fins. And it has some fins pop up here. Woo! I don't know how they should look. Let's redo that because that's not great. So let's work out where the tail is going on the other side, shall we? It is going on the floor here. There we go. Now we've got I figured out where this line's supposed to be. Sometimes you have to do that.
I'm with you, Fluffy, on these back legs. Definitely, right now they're stacked on top of each other, and that seems like it would actually be annoying to balance those. So I've just done what Fluffy has done too, and just taken the leg that's on top and made it flop to the ground, give it a bit more
let it
weight behind it.
relax.
Yeah.
There we go. So now we've got a nice weighty tail that feels a bit more heavy. because they've got to swim with it. You know, sharks and dolphins and mermaids have really powerful tails. You've got to get that feeling in there. So you've got to have some little shine effects. I'm just going to outline the shinies instead of coloring the whole thing. There we go. Shiny tail, shiny butt. There we go.
Speaking of shines, eye shines.
Yeah.
Little bit of an eye shine can go a long way. Just play around, see where the light's coming from, and you'll find. I know I've been poking at it. There goes LD putting a cute little eye shine in. Just have fun, you know.
Yeah.
It really adds depth to the eye as well.
It makes them look not dead.
Yeah.
It is something. The characters always look a little bit more soulless until you get the eye shine. And I always had that with drawing traditionally. People would always come over and be like, why are they look like really like evil and soulless. It's like they haven't drawn the eyes yet. Like sometimes they would come in before I've even drawn the iris. So they're just like, oh, look at those like wide staring eyes. And it's like, I haven't gotten that far yet, Mom. Give me a chance.
Yeah, it's.
Oh.
I know it's silly, but like,
Why do I have white?
as humans, like we stare at eyes. We are so drawn to eyes, and we have never not seen an eye that's not glossy unless it's on something not alive. So like that's why like the idea we keep saying like it looks dead and soulless. Well, that's because what we see. Like if we're looking at a doll and it's just got painted on eyes, it can look pretty dead and soulless unless it has those fake eye shines on. And I know it's silly, but I think I think that's sort of where it comes from.
Yeah, I think you have a good point there.
And then my other question I have is why no line weight? We have line weight in very specific areas, but everywhere else is very thick. Like these eyelashes have beautiful line weight, and so there's like a little bit here coming in, but everywhere else it's just the same thickness. In the hair, where the leg meets, you know, the body. I guess, is that a choice? If it is,
I actually think I have the answer to this one.
Oh.
They don't use a tablet to draw with, and so the areas where you see it actually pointy, they've gone in after the fact and done a stroke over top of it to give it a point.
Ah.
Yeah.
We've critiqued their stuff before.
Ah, I see. So try for more line weights, because that really does help. Like how the ear curves in a little bit here, and this right there, the eyebrow, really makes a difference with the size difference.
All right, so we have a
live drawing with the eyes. I instead of having it just just draw it. There you go. Instead of just going full on like you know, like you've done here. What I did was I do more of a full eye and just sort of had the curve come in a little bit towards the corner of the eye. And I also had like the underside because you've got this like a little smile going on. So you can bring that up, bring the cheek up because it's being squished. So that like gives the eyes a much more sort of flexible appearance. You can still choose to keep the eye a little bit more like cut down like this if you wanted to. That's absolutely fine. It's up to you. But there are different ways that you can show expressions, and when you really get in, like there are so many intricacies with expression work that isn't to be afraid of. It's something to like delight in. It's so much fun. Once you start getting down like what little tiny subtle differences can I make and how will that change the expression, it can be so much fun just to play around with.
All right, we have a question from our Picarto chat, and it's from Lucinia. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Hey folks, I'm new here. Just out of interest, how do you guys feel about artistic interpretation? How important is to stay close to the show style?
Yeah, this is a good subject.
It's my favorite one, in fact.
So take us away, Allie.
Do whatever you want. No one has to keep to show style. Be
Absolutely.
free. It's art. There's no rules. Seriously,
Yeah.
like people think to be good at drawing ponies. Well, no, I don't even believe people think that. I think maybe
People
in the
say
vector
it.
community, they believe that show style is the right way to go, but have fun.
Even then, I think they're just specifically trying to recreate something. I don't think they're explicitly like this is the only way it should look.
I know I've seen people come in here before who want to vector, and think that it needs to look exactly like show style, and that they get deterred when they try to want to do something else but still vector.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
But yeah, if you're
completely
gonna,
fine.
so it's very true. It's like I do feel that the show style is like the ground sort of foundation of the wall. You know, it's the basis that we sort of start with, and recently, of course, we had the movie, and that's sort of an improvement on that. So that can sort of be the new baseline, if you want. The movie style is really nice, um, but either way, you've got the official style, and that's like where we start. And you can stay within that, but you can spend ages trying to perfect copying it, and you can look really nice, but you're only going to be as nice as the show looks. And that's it, that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly cute, but if you want to be really adventurous, if you want to have something that's like you want to make things that are incredibly cute or incredibly beautiful or incredibly cool, then you need to like branch out a bit more. And there's absolutely nothing stopping you from experimenting and trying different ways that you can interpret it, looking at how other artists have tried things, other ways they use different shapes and styles and different coloring styles and lining styles and all that sort of stuff. And whether it's a sketch or a beautiful painterly piece, artists do different things in different ways, and it's important to figure out which way is the most fun for you and the way that you feel works the most.
Just to add on to what's being said, often we will, in this chat at least, we'll talk about trying to get people to draw towards show style when they're starting out. The reason we try and push towards drawing show style when you're just starting out is because it's a great solid base. The horses are the same throughout the show until we get to the movie. They're the same, and it's an easy subject to do. It's easy to copy,
that's why I say
repeat.
it's like a baseline.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully that's what people were talking about when they're saying, stay close to show style is, start close and then grow.
Yeah, I've always found that it's like if you just immediately right out the gap try to create some weird new interpretation of the show, you can end up going astray. I think it is good to learn that first. Like LD said, you start there and then you grow outwards, because it's such a good way to get like a grounding understanding of how things work, and then say, okay, now I'm going to make it stylized. It can't really be stylized if like that's your initial invention. It's just how it looks, and you can struggle a lot because you've got nothing to reference. You've got nothing to go off of.
Yeah, and I think something also that kind of, I don't know if it gets forgotten or just like, it's not, because a lot of people do this as a hobby. Some people, yes, they do want to go on, they really want to push themselves, learn everything they can. Not saying that hobbies can't do that either, but some people are just doing it for fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. But another thing you can do is study what ponies came from, which are horses. That is another baseline. These are two baselines. Because the fandom is so centered around pony and everyone wants to draw a pony, that's why that is a baseline. Now, if we wanted to go for like the truest baseline, actual horses.
Yeah, that's like
That
reinventing the wheel right there.
Yeah, they will have the information that the pony is missing.
Because don't forget, it is a cartoon stylization in itself of something else. So if you want to do something interesting, or even just to do it as an experiment, you can do that, and you sort of look yourself at the same source that the cartoon came from, essentially. It's the same reason why I tell people a lot, like, look at the show, then also look at how artists interpret things, because it's an artist who has already done the time to figure out a way of doing this, and you can learn from what they have done creatively and then come up with your own ideas for that. But as artists are derivative of the show is derivative of life, so you can go one step further.
And another thing, while we're talking about inspiration of like other things, take inspirations from other animal anatomy itself. There's literally an artist that is like all about the cat ponies, and it's like you still see them as ponies, but they are so heavily inspired by the anatomy of cats and how cats act. That's really cool. So don't be afraid to like, oh, I just have to do horses if I'm drawing horses. Like, have fun, go out there, do things.
I really love I forget the artist's name, but all they did is take cats and they would take cats as a base and draw ponies as cats. I think the Tumblr is Ponies Are Cats.
I love that so much.
That's amazing.
It's the best idea.
Hi, I'm new here. Do you prefer lineless art or line art? We love
Ooh,
both. Art is
Personally, I
art.
yeah.
prefer line art.
Personally, I like both, and I think even then it comes down to the style of how it's drawn.
Exactly, yeah. There've been some really beautiful lineless pieces. It just makes me want to yell with envy. But it's
Yeah.
I do admit that there are a lot of like styles where there are just so many pictures where it's like Luna on like a nighttime hill looking over the sky, and it's like all painterly and pretty. It's like I've seen this 100 times. Like I don't feel like there's any context here for me to enjoy. Whereas I can see like a sketch that someone's done in like 20 minutes or 10 minutes, and it's like
Oh,
that I
yeah.
like way more because of the content in the picture, like the style of the pony and what they're doing, and things that just I find a lot more valuable to me. But that is my own personal taste and standards.
Mhm. God, like, because I want to say I prefer lineless because I've seen a lot of my favorite pictures be lineless, but like I couldn't walk away from line art. I couldn't pick one over the other. I
Yeah,
couldn't,
no.
like,
I don't think you ever have to take a side.
yeah, art's
Good
great.
question, no Jazz Wolf.
Yeah, I like questions. We don't get them very often.
Yeah, we don't.
Always feel free to just ask questions if you don't have art.
Yeah, because we can always discuss art. We can critique art, and that's great.
Hmm.
But we
All
always
right.
don't mind talking about art with you.
Totes my goats. So we got a picture here from
Ah, boy.
Ross. It's dang it. It's from
Hi, we have
Ross
art.
Ramos X.
Ross Ramos?
Yes. And that's Fluttershy Happy Pinkie Pie. They have no comments.
Well, that is definitely a descriptor of things that are in this picture.
Yep.
Happy ponies. I can't be disappointed.
There is Fluttershy, there is happiness, and there is also Pinkie Pie.
So Ross, because it looks like you're going to be a semi-active person posting to our subreddit. If you're gonna, my suggestion for posting art, especially if it's more than just a under sketch and it's like glaring, or there's a bunch of easy issues that you're just like, hey, help me with the anatomy. Ask questions on your picture. That's what I'm getting at here in my long-winded ramble. Ask the questions when you post the picture. It makes life a lot better for pictures that are more developed because you have a bunch of nifty shading here, and I have my tire sales person here. So I'll let you two go at this, and I'll be back.
All right.
Okay. Firstly, it is kind of hard to see any kind of line art no matter what color we choose. So I'm just going to do a little thing I usually do. Selection. Okay. So we can if we want to talk about the colors, I'll turn it off. But just
So,
for
yeah, I mean, like Zom said, like Living Dead said, we love questions because we love to know how we can help. Because a lot of the times, yes, we can go through, and I know we've critiqued your work before. And we just like to know what direction you like to head. Otherwise, it'll just be the same stuff over and over again. So yeah, please ask questions. And if you're not looking for critique, because I know some people mistake our subreddit for just an art posting subreddit. And we apologize if you did not want this critiqued and you posted it here thinking it was just a art sharing subreddit. Just know, yeah, we are not actually sharing. There are other subreddits just to share art because I know you've posted several pictures on our subreddit in one day. So
if you want, there's also our Discord, and you can come there and in the general chats, you can just share all the art you
sure,
want.
yeah,
In fact, in the art channel, you can just share art.
absolutely. Jazzwolf,
Oh,
you can just post your picture to the
okay.
chat with a link, and we'll put it up after this one. So yeah, Fluffy's already starting on it, but some of Fluttershy's anatomy is a bit I'd say she feels crunched up. She feels very like she doesn't have like her neck and her wings are kind of combined into one.
Yeah, I can see that. Where is my pen? What is happening? This area around here. I'll get to that in a second. Unless you want to get to it first.
No, go for it. You already started on the face, so I figured I'd let you
Yeah, I was doing the face. I do know something LD pointed out before we started the stream. Actually, that Fluttershy's not really looking anywhere. So let's ground her eyes to here, so you can see. Yeah, she's looking at the orb thingy. Unless she was supposed to be looking at Pinkie Pie, but her gaze was just kind of nowhere. So if you want to make her look at Pinkie Pie, make her look specifically more at Pinkie Pie. That's
Mhm.
great. It's just there wasn't really anything direct of that. Oh, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Actually, I don't know if I can. I don't have my tools set up very well. Let me see what. Okay. I feel like this blue on the inside of the mane, just before I get to the wing, is a little bit harsh. There we go. That's better. Because it made it look too much like the background. So it was too similar in color, so it just looked like her hair had a hole in it. So I have lost my colors again. So if we go over the body next, so we got the ear, that's cool. And that sort of comes down like this, and then her body is going like a little bean here, as she is. So we're gonna put the hooves like this. We'll get to those in a moment. The back legs are fine. So that's roughly like how the body is going to be shaped, right? Let me just try to sort of refine the shape a little bit. There we go. So you get a bit of a back curve in. There we go. Probably a bit too much, but it's going to be covered up anyway. So the wings start about here. And I'm not going to draw super amazing, incredible, realistic wings, but let's see. So they're a joint, they're an arm. It's going like that. And then you've got some feathers. So we're going to use that, and then we're going to go here. This pen looks horrible, I have to say. Where is my? I know I figured out a way to get the. No, it's up max. Okay. The smoothing, weight, whatever it's called. So I mean, you've done like a pretty good job of sort of getting the wing down. I'm not the best at wings. Let's make it a little bit more sort of fluffy. And then her back is here. There is a back there. That's what we're getting at. And the other wing maybe will come up like this, and probably spread off somewhere in the distance. I would have to spend more time like figuring out where that's going, but that'll do for now. But this is going to be a gap. In fact, let's pick that similar color to the background, and there we go. Oh, look at that! Her
Lovely.
suddenly she has a back, and her wings not melded into it. Woo!
Lovely. So just like like simple things like Fluffy just went over. Just anatomy wise. The other thing is I know you're going for a very sketchy painterly thing, and that's absolutely fine. Some nitpicky things are just like separating Pinky's arms from her chest. They kind of mold into one. You can keep it messy, but it's still nice to have that separation, especially since you have her back legs so defined. The front legs shouldn't be the thing that's like faded out, even with like a bright shine. I guess it's like a mystic glass ball.
Here we go. Actually, I'm quite happy with that. It's
It's
very very Fluttershy, like in that sort of like gentle,
delicate.
calm, held position. Yeah. Well, Pinkie Pie's definitely got that bounce going on. It's very nice.
I love how you did Pinkie Pie's body. I just would suggest making her neck a little thinner and maybe pulling her head back a bit. Her head's kind of footballed out a little. So just some keep in mind.
Fluffness. Yeah, I definitely noticed that too. Sometimes proportions are hard, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I think the nose is like the main contributor to that, because I think it's kind of coming off to the side a little bit, where we need to pull it back so we can like try and push it forward. I'm not good at doing like the show style faces. I never was. I don't think I ever really went to as we were talking about earlier with like copying the show style and stuff. I don't think I ever went very hard into mimicking how the show does noses and mouths, because I just didn't like that it's like here's a face and then there's like the mouth. Like it never looked right to me. So I think I always used to do my own face styles until the movie came out, and I liked the movie style so much that I just started copying that instead of doing everything I used to do. I'm just gonna do the movie. This isn't working, so I'm gonna do the movie style nose.
I'm back.
As best as I can. Ah, a zombie! Run! How does a zombie get in here?
I've always been here.
And I realized they're probably not underwater. They're just like floating in magic, I guess. Let's give it a cheek. Pinky cheek. She's a cheeky pony, didn't you know? That's terrible. I'm sorry. Both
Someone
the pun and the my attempt at drawing.
did someone answer Jazzwolf Fun where they
Yes.
can? Awesome.
And if they still want to post their picture, they still can.
We always accept.
I'm
Safe
just trying to see what I can do with Pinky's face.
I think the only other thing, like, if I'm going to be nitpicky, is that I love that there's stuff in the front, but I feel like we could put some stuff in the back. It's just kind of a blank void in the back, and everything's in front of the ponies. Maybe have some stuff behind the ponies to make them, like, push a little bit more forward and not be the background object, not them be, like, the last object in, like, the layers of the image. Not technical layers, but, you know, as we see things in front of them.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
that could be like maybe more balloons behind them or bigger presents, or I think you're kind of doing, if I understand correctly, a mishmash of holidays, which is really cool. So like get some more of that behind there.
Yeah. That's a very good point. We have like a big Christmas tree behind them or something. Just to add some sort of like depth and perspective there. So right now I don't actually know how big they are, just by comparison, really. Because these could be tiny little things. Whoa,
And
My tablet is on the
I
floor.
guess the other thing is I'm not quite sure if it's a cake or a table.
Yeah, I was thinking it kind of looks like a cake.
It looks like a cake. Decorate it. I mean, it's a party. Have a
Or if
pretty
it's
cake.
a table, make it look more like a tablecloth. You can
Yeah.
add some colors on there, maybe some patterns to help you show the shape of how it bends. When I dropped my tablet, apparently it clicked on Photoshop. That's opening now. But yeah, you can definitely do some stuff to make it look more like cloth if that's what it is, or more like a cake if that's what it is, or if it's something else. Yeah, whatever it is, there are ways that you can add details.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have a picture by Jazzwolf. Let me just resize this thing.
I just noticed CPC's drawings at the bottom. Those are adorable.
Oh, jeez.
So much
There's
cute.
more. Oh my god. I love the way you did
Oh,
my
cute
hair.
baby.
That's
So cute.
so cute. Ah. CBC,
Go away, Photoshop. You're not wanted right now.
CBC is a cute gift from God.
Yes.
She was placed on this
I love
earth.
the cute little ghosts. The hugs. No, Fluffy's gonna love it. Well, I did. You were right. I was found out. Shall we keep your secret?
So adorable.
Was that you, Ellie?
Yeah.
So she's hugging the lion down there. That's great.
All right, Jazzwolf.
Alright.
You got any questions about your picture for us?
It's like a crazy problem. I want to know the context of this OC. Very interesting. Is this like a redraw? Oh, it is, yeah. Because you've got dates. For those watching on YouTube, we are waiting for a response and have stream delay.
Dun 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 dun. Dun.
We have 9 viewers as well. Hi, guys.
Hi, pudding. I watched that like Thursday. It was so good.
I don't know what you're referencing.
Go. It's been over a week. It's fine. It's the last episode, this Christmas thing.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't know that's what you were referencing.
I was wondering if the anatomy looks better than it does from before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I see definite improvement.
I mean,
Yeah.
your back legs, first of all, went from being straight pipes attached to the body to being full-out pony hips. Your front legs, they're attached on a saner location and they have a better shape to them.
Yeah, that you don't have like a super long
Look at that.
part and a super short part.
So
And
good.
the rendering is so much better.
Yeah. Is this point you just like perpetually dizzy? I have many questions about this OC. I like the cutie mark there, it's interesting. So I mean, I think there are still ways you could improve the anatomy. Beyond, it's definitely an improvement, 100%. Like you just said, the proportions in rendering are just so much better. Like you got the nice shadows in there. I feel though like she's leaning very hard to one side. Maybe she really needs this leg to balance on, and she's just getting so tired she's about to fall this way. Because that's what I get. I feel like her center of gravity is kind of over here. 'Cause if you can see, like her hooves there, and it feels like her body's kind of over here. Like if we're looking at sort of where things are placed, like top down. Uh, Let me just see about drawing. Again, it's just easier to draw a little sketch separately rather than drawing over something, I think. So they're just like in a kind of typical standing position. Is that right? Everybody? So, I don't know how much. Actually, you know what? I don't know how much detail I'll be able to show like this. Let me just do some drawing over. I just need like a red or. Oh, my blue should be fine. Yeah. Okay, so head. And the neck's coming up. Oh, sorry. Now you got the body here. And the shoulders. So that's why I feel like the legs coming out this way. You can see how that's coming out at an angle from the body instead of coming down. We don't have to worry about things looking too stiff just because the legs are going down. There are ways you can add lots of curve to the legs to make them have a nice shape without making it sticky. So I learned a lot of this by other artists. I would copy people's stuff and learn from it and steal their secrets. Ha ha ha. See, it's hard drawing over a picture. I can't quite get what I was trying to do. Let's have a look. So leg stops. I'm gonna tuck that in a little bit. I have it coming down. Nice curve, curvy hoof, curvy leg and curvy hoof. Ooh. There we go. That's better. So don't be afraid to make the hooves thicker on the end, like you've done in the redraw. That's very good. So you can use that. You can make it nice and curvy. So and then the back leg, just sort of don't be afraid to push the back leg out a bit. When I do draw my own pictures, I'm just gonna do it here and just go straight into the body. There we go. So pretend there's a head there. When I do my pictures, I will. Yeah, that's visible. Cool. I'll have the head come down to the body. Then I'll have the legs fully like bend back and then back out again, forming to form the leg. And I'll even do like the sort of shoulder muscle there. And then for the back leg, I'll have them do the same. Or if I want to have them like tucked in or soldier-like, I can do that. Or have them a bit more outwards. Then they've got a little bit more spread to the legs there. That's not perfect, but yeah, that's sort of how I would interpret that.
Oh, the answer to your question about the eyes. She was born with them.
Oh, okay. That's a very interesting trait. Does everything just sort of like spin in her vision? I was probably going to allow dizzy eyes, my friend. What? Strata draw.
Good thing we're not Hasbro.
We allow many things, just not copyrighted music or swears.
Do you have any other questions, Jazz Wolf? You know what I've learned recently?
Yeah.
My favorite thing now to draw are thighs.
Oh yeah.
Just the way the anatomy fits together, and either
They
like
they
anything from
they
anther
have
to
such a
snout.
nice shape when you get it right.
They do, and they just like the way they like so much more satisfying than human thighs because they
Right.
have so many angles they work with.
Yeah. There's so much like complexity to how they bend and how the curves work together.
Mhm. But you know what I hate? Feet and hands. Hey.
Yes. And ponies have neither of them. And
Too
who's the
bad
fun to draw?
Who's our fun to draw?
Stratodraw asks, where do babies come from? So one day when
Hey!
studio executives decide that they need a new toy line, they decide that there's going to be a new baby from the princess and prince, and then they make a toy line, and in the show suddenly they have a baby. There we go.
You're so
That's
ridiculous.
how it works, right?
Either
Just-
that, or you're a baker and you put something in the oven and it comes out as neither of your race, and then the father has questions.
And has to make up some wild excuse about distant relatives being of either species to not raise suspicious questions about their relationship.
So ridiculous.
Ponies.
Yeah, I'm glad you're happy with your progress, Jazzwolf, and thank you for coming to us. And I hope we get to see more of your art in the future.
Yes, keep at it.
It's gonna be so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's totally true. Backlegs used to be your enemy, and now they not hardly anymore. Sometimes that happens. There are things that are just like, oh, this thing sucks. I hate it, and then you work on improving it, and then suddenly you like learn how to do it well, and then it's like really fun, and it's like, oh my god, I can do this now.
Now the front legs give me trouble for certain
Yeah.
poses.
I struggle quite a bit with back legs usually. Sometimes I get lucky with it, but for a lot of poses, the back legs are just like, ugh. I don't know how to position them or get them to work, especially if they're like stuck out backwards because that like breaks the anatomy, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are things the show does that just don't look particularly amazing when you actually look at the still imagery, but like they create the impression. But we put so much detail into the anatomy of our art, like every tiny little thing has to feel so physical and real that like if we did a lot of the things that the show do, just the show does it doesn't even look that broken when you look at it. It creates the impression it's trying to do. But a lot of those things just don't work when you have so much detail in how you shape things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have this arm suddenly 3 times as long because Pinkie Pie is pulling something from off screen, you know?
Oh, Pinkie Pie. Let's just disassemble her. Let her fall apart.
She already
literally.
did that when the
Yeah.
execs decided they wanted a new toy line of Flurry Heart was announced in the show. And she didn't have to keep the secret anymore, and she fell to pieces. Remember?
I do.
I love just segueing back to old topics. Yay, learning is magic.
It is. So, anybody else got any art, any questions? We're here for like, if there's no more, we'll be here for like 5 more minutes. But if there's something, we'll go and help. Things and stuff. I don't think that sentence I said like was anything, but I hope
You
everyone
just like had
understood.
those sentences where halfway through you know it's a train crash, so you're just like, I'm gonna get all of the words out. I don't care. I'm finishing this sentence. I don't care if it doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna just announce all of the words that were gonna be in it, and then we can just figure this out after the fact.
Yeah. It's like you get it, right? Yeah, you get it.
I think you're just
Even
describing how I
if you end up
talk.
sounding like Ross Mars.
Sure, if you want to submit something to Shadowjaw, feel free.
The show only continues if you actually do want help.
Oh, I forgot I had. I was like sketching on it, and then I got distracted by critiquing. I actually do have a very crappy doodle that I need your guys' help with as well. this is terrible. I actually like looking at the submitters' drawings. I go back to the thing I was drawing. I'm like, ugh, it's terrible. What am I doing? No.
I've been working on a
Yeah.
dragon today for a commission, and the feet. I'm scared to go back to it after we're done because like the feet have been killing me. I cannot figure out for the life of me. I'm gonna go back to it and just be disgusted all over again.
I will succeed.
Wow.
Instead, why you guys don't share the method of sketching that
I
you guys-
can't.
Hmm?
It's a private commission, so I
Ah.
can't. Yeah. Otherwise, I honestly would.
Just put the feet in the thing.
Just the feet.
Just share
Representation of the feet. I'll put the feet onto a pony. Just don't question it. Really
I
fine.
think Strato was asking like what like techniques we use for sketching. Is that right, Strato Draw?
No strato draw. It's actually a Christmas gift, so you cannot post it, even though
Hey,
this will end up on YouTube. I don't know. I don't like to risk it. Client wants it private. I'm keeping it private.
So for sketching, what I do is I just go hog wild. I grab a sheet of paper and just lay down some lines and see what comes of it. Usually I like try and imagine up something weird, but often it's just a matter of throwing down some baselines and seeing what we can do. I have good news for the link for Discord. If you scroll down slightly on our description, you'll find it there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
as Fluff Zai said.
And then
And then I
it's
linked.
posted in
yeah.
the chat as well. I mean, you guys have sort of seen how I sketch, I guess, from the stream, just not as proficiently as I normally would do, because it's a difficult program to work with, but not the worst. So I generally just do the same things I do. Like I'll do very, very quick like circles and lines to sort of figure out where the body's going. Because as long as there's something on the canvas, that's not just a blank white space, and our brains can figure things out a bit better. And then I'll sketch the body a little bit. Then usually on a new layer, usually with a different color, I will then go over the body in a bit more detail. So I'll start with like the really rough, like okay, here's the general pose, and then like usually I'll make that like a really light cyan, and I'll just make a new layer and I'll just sketch something much more visible. And I'll just go over that and I'll define how the actual shape of the body looks. And I usually have a particular order for doing the face too. It goes like, barring of course circle as I mentioned. It goes nose, goes smelly, eye, other eye. It's gonna be really wonky, but whatever. It's just to illustrate my point. Ear, cheek, other side of the head, down to the neck, this side of the neck, and then later on I'll come back and I'll draw the mane. And then like irises. That's the order I always draw my faces in. Just because each thing like kind of works off the last.
Yeah, I just like being messy with my sketches because
Mhm.
I find I try to be when I find when I try to be too clean with my sketches, they get stiff. And I like fluidness in my art, personally. Like that's what I like seeing in others people's art that I wish I saw online. So I keep it messy, and I preach messiness, and that it doesn't have to look good. It's a sketch. And you're allowed to make messy
Yeah.
things on paper because it's a sketch. It doesn't always have to be final product material.
Exactly. Yes. Definitely. Can't see my sketch.
But also, it is really satisfying when you have to do minimal under sketching and come out with like, boom.
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
that, it's so clean.
I mean, I have to specify. I don't do things. I do sort of sketch quite fast. Like I definitely don't waste too much time, like just trying to figure things out, unless I'm doing something that's I'm not used to. Oh, sorry. Unless I'm doing something I'm not used to, and like I'm doing a tricky pose I have to figure out, then of course I'll do a lot of like trying to work this out and redrawing and stuff. Yeah, I do. Most of my sketches just happen. but that's not like because I'm trying to be super fast or because I think it's right to do sketching quickly. It's just like what I'm drawing, I'm so used to after drawing it lots and lots and lots of times. But yeah, messy sketches are absolute the best.
Yeah, horses. Draw horses. Just
Art,
draw.
things, lovely things.
Did we have yeah? Did we have another submission? I thought I remembered someone saying to me.
Nope. They were thinking about submitting, but they never did.
Oh well, I did post one
You posted one.
in the voice chat.
Oh, ha!
It is terrible. I just need help trying to figure out this pose. Because sometimes friendship is the key.
Slowly shrinking the canvas. Saved. Key to saving my. Ah, it's full of pictures.
We'll need to just expand it. We can't erase those adorable CPC pictures.
Enhance.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna try and post. Clip Studio is taking its time to load a file because it's big. I draw pretty big. Oh,
Yes, you
I got
do.
it loaded when I finish this one.
All right, so this is the pony pulling off a shirt.
Yes, I was going to post reference to the actual character to the left, but my you have to bear with me a sec. Yes, they're trying to pull the coat off over their head. It's part of my blog. The previous one had Derpy standing there with her male mare outfit, and this one she's supposed to be just like pulling her uniform off.
Bye, Stratoja. We are a fun
Bye,
gang.
have fun.
We even like wander down back alleys and snap at people.
Yes. Wait, musical. Oh, wait, 150. Wait, 200. What stream are we on? 150th stream?
Yeah, 145th.
Okay, so the 150th stream is gonna be musical. We have to sing.
Okay.
No speaking.
You think I'm good at just like randomly like ramble singing? Okay, there we go. I can copy this now. Boop. Where's the cat? Oh, there it is. Which layer am I on?
So, what's going on right with this fold that I just did in black? That one. Like it's where the hoof ends.
Yeah, I was trying to. It's where like it's still inside like the sleeve,
Oh, okay.
and it's like you're pulling the sleeve. That's not something I was trying to figure out.
So, here's what I would suggest, because if I go ahead and take off my sweater, the sleeves come out the other way. That's what I would do there, just to further signify that they are sleeves, because right now it looks like the hooves have been lost inside of a towel.
Yeah.
So I would give this the shape of what would be more shirt-like. The back shape's
Yeah.
fine.
I spent like all day trying to search for references for this. I didn't find anything.
I have good news. You got
anything
shirts
short of
everywhere.
actually taking off my actual shirt because like that's just not a pretty sight.
You're the one seeing it. It's fine.
Yeah. So you see, that's why I was trying to. Okay. This was no pen. The pen is white. That's not very helpful. Okay. So this is where these creases here are where it separates into the shirt. If that makes any sense?
No.
Like this is like what you got here. This line. This there.
The reason it doesn't make sense to me is because a shirt's not like a blob. I know it's strapped over the head, but like if I'm gonna turn my shirt around and stare at this, so oh, come on, off. Yeah, that's it. Using references.
PG stream.
Whoo, take it off, Zamzam.
Oh my god.
Alright. So if I was to pull the sweater halfway off and have it hanging on the arms like it is now, which no one can see, but believe me, this is happening. Yes, I get folds. Is it like a sweater or a t-shirt or
It's to,
a
I
vest?
posted the thing to the left. It's like a uniform shirt, I guess. I don't know.
Sorry, because that does change the short sleeve vesty thingy. Okay, that's even same
Originally,
idea.
I guess I don't know why I thought the sleeves were longer, but okay. I forgot what I actually drew.
So that looks like a pretty form-fitting shirt anyway. So it's going to run into the same issue where the sleeves invert. That happens to all my muscle shirts because I just wander around in muscle shirts. No, But-
the inverted sleeves was what I was trying to draw. Is what I was getting at. I just
Totally.
didn't know exactly how to connect them to the rest of the shirt on the inside. I don't know how to make anything in this look right.
So what I would do is I would take this, have this curl up around the neck just a bit to show it's the end of that shirt. Come down here, and then how does this horse get into this? Is it buttoned up front, or is it just like slip top?
I never saw any buttons in the references, so I guess they just slip it over.
Holy cow, that's got to be fun. Okay,
That's how I get into all my shirts. I don't have any button-up things.
fair enough. So it would be quite small, so it probably wouldn't even be getting all the way to the ground, because she is a thin horse. Her head is bigger than that. The largest area she has to get through this neck hole is her head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only got to be the size of her head, so we can end it
That's
somewhere.
what this lump was.
Beauty. So we're going to fold that over there, which is signifying the back of her head, as you've already done. Then we're going to come down, and we're actually going to end it up here, because that's the neck of the shirt. That's what those
the
are.
opening there.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're going to end it, and then you're going to fold it over itself, make it all sorts of the mess it is. And that's going to help know where those sleeves are. And then you're going to pull
Yes,
those
it
out.
does.
And then you can also, pop a little bit of that mane through that, and it'll look kind of cute.
Wait.
Exactly. I do like the wide pose she's done at the back to really give her the more balance.
Yeah.
That's worked well for you.
Thinking about how one would feel kind of bending down. The legs are doing like the crouching pose. I initially wanted to have the front legs like curved down, but the whole point she's doing this pose is because she needs to use her front hooves to like pull it off her head. So like that's why she needs to like lower her head down and not just like if she could get it off without using her hooves, then she wouldn't need to be bending down like this. What?
Allie.
What did Ali do?
I'm trying to find references of dogs and shirts because I know I can picture it in my head how because one of my dogs we tried putting shirts onto and I can picture
That is very true.
pushing the shirts off.
Yeah.
I like find that, but I found that instead.
It's just great. It looks like a seal for me.
Yeah.
Which isn't a seal baby also called a pup? Am I right? In
Yeah.
thinking that?
Yeah.
We do have a question from Jazz Wolf. How do you avoid drawing the same hairstyle? Because that's sometimes the problem.
Well, if it's the same character, then it probably should be. But do you mean like across different characters?
I mean, if you're talking in general, references, honestly, look up things, human hairstyles, like animals. There's a billion and two OCs in the world. Don't be afraid to like get inspiration from them.
Yeah.
Also, hair is hair. A lot of people have the same hair. Don't be worried if you have the same hair as another horse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think sort of like practicing some of the subtleties of how the main styles are constructed and everything. So I think the show's gotten a bit better with that. With characters even with similar hairstyles being different now. Like I think Derpy and Rainbow Dash, like Derpy was originally just like Rainbow Dash with grey coat and yellow mane, but like now she's got like her own sort of style of mane. Like it's just slightly different. So I think doing that definitely helps me. It's just like if designing different characters and not wanting to give them the same main style, I'll just like what creative thing can I do? Usually I will sort of go for the same sort of I'll go for the same sort of approach to begin with. I'm definitely more used to drawing like anime hair. I sort of do like the spiky things over the over the face, and then like I'll sort of do a lot of those tropes. But then sometimes I'll come into something creative and I'll be like, oh, how can I give them some nice little bit of styling? What would they do in front of the mirror in the morning to style their mane? Oh, and also like keep in mind replicability. Like so many times I'll like draw on a character and it's like, how do I figure out how to draw this character again? I just don't know. And it's like drawing a character the second time is the hardest thing. Drawing a character the first time, I'm just like there and I'm just drawing them. I was like, oh, that looks cool. That's a cool drawing. And then like the second time, I don't know what to do with it. And it's so hard. And then the third time drawing a character, I figured it out and I'm okay. Yeah, I think I can figure out what to do with this picture now. Thank you, LD.
No problem, buddy.
So unless anyone else has any questions or submissions for us. I see Anaclara raising something. It's a secret.
I was trying something, but it wasn't working. Some of those moments where like you can picture something in your head, because I can picture how a dog would pull clothing off of themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can't find a picture, and because it's in my head, it's not accurate. So when I try to draw it, it's not working out.
CPC's for drawing of us as a gang. It's
I know. I love it. I
love
want
it
it
so
to be
much.
our new banner.
how I'm okay with that.
Snapping hooves. You could fit it next to KT's banner because it's so like both of them would fit in the perspective. The banner.
Let's do it. It's done. Let's do it.
Otherwise, KT's just like in the middle and so far away to see.
Selection tool. Copy.
I'll totally finish it.
Do
If
it.
Susie doesn't want to.
I just have to find CPC's picture here. I got it somewhere. Or not CPC. There it is. The crit stream picture. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll totally work. The crit stream one was 723 pixels tall. Can you deal with that? All right. So it looks like no one else has any questions. So let's call it a week, and we'll see you.
Oh, actually, someone quick says they can pick our they had a beautiful critique done in the Reddit, so we're really just here for people who didn't get critiqued at all at the Reddit. We kind of sweep up. Tuesday's like our sweep up day. Anyone who hasn't gotten any critique, we try to go in and do. Otherwise, we do it live if you're here.
Wait, they are? They're there?
If that's them.
I don't think that's them.
Oh, CPC, that was so cute.
But what do you think of Applejack 47's pumpkin sketch?
I assume it's the one with the pony with the pumpkin on his head. That's maybe I.
Oh
assumed.
yeah.
I was looking at that one earlier and said it was cute. I liked it.
Yes. It is adorable. If you have any questions that relate to that critique, feel free to ask. We can probably answer them because it seems TH4 or whatever their name is, THA41 has the same sort of idea as we did as far as critique would come off.
Mm-hmm. We'd pretty much be saying the same thing.
They put it wonderfully. I love when they do critique. Yes. Them and the art of doing science.
Yes. And Maze. Maze is another good one.
Yep. Anyone who red lines, really. Because
yeah.
words work great, but pictures, man, they work awesome.
Yeah.
We're not saying you shouldn't critique if you aren't redlining. Please critique pictures. We love when other people critique pictures. Why? Because it's a way for you to learn. You learn, the person learns. It's just a win-win. It's the main reason we've been doing this. We're like, hey, art's not being done on the subreddit, and I mean, we can force ourselves to do it because it's good for us. Fine, we'll have a plate of veggies and critique art. And then we go back to the bowls of candy when we're done.
Candy.
I have too much candy.
Well, you can send some this way. I will help you with your problems.
I'm there to help you as a friend who is also hungry for candy.
Nope, that's the critiquer. Just wanted to make sure I didn't. Oh no, you're.
Oh no.
Oh, th. Yeah, you're amazing. Your critique absolutely spot on.
Seriously, great job. We love having you on our subreddit.
You should hear us during our pre-gaming of this. We're just like, yada yada yada. Oh my god!
We really do get excited when we find awesome critique.
They do.
We even learn from some of them. We're like, hey, I didn't notice. That's my pants.
Did you remove them for reference? So I guess we have to entertain the now. Or LD answers his pants.
Pants.
Or by email
It's spam.
at info
I am getting glorious spam.
If a federally election
Right.
were held today,
Hi,
which party
spam.
would you vote for? Press 1 for
I'm letting
the
you guys
Liberal
vote for
Party of
this.
Canada, led by Justin Trudeau. Press 2 for the Conservative Party of Canada, led by Andrew Scheer. Press 3 for the New Democratic Party of Canada, led by Jagmeet Singh. Press 4 for the Green Party of Canada, led by Elizabeth May. Press 5 for the People's Party of Canada, led by Maxime Bernier. Press 6 for another party. Press 7 if you were undecided.
Are we doing 6?
Undecided.
Oh, okay. We're undecided
Which
now.
party are you leaning towards?
Oh,
Press 1 for
Oh no.
God, we're trying to.
I'm done with that one.
Abort.
We
Abort.
will vote later.
Should have done the Celestial Party.
Shoulda.
Yes.
Cake for breakfast is
the-
a great platform.
The Republic of Friendship.
Alright, so unless if anyone else has any other questions or any other art they'd like to critique, we'll see ya later. Alligators,
Join us on Discord.
join us on
Yeah,
Discord.
join our Discord, critique on the subreddit, submit your pictures, and tell a friend.
I'll be your
Hit
friend
that
if you want to tell me.
bell, subscribe, join my Patreon.
Into the Patreon button where the
Don't
money
forget
is
to
deposited.
Smash that like button and hit that bell for instant notifications.
Don't forget about Ko-fi. Yes, join my Kickstarter for critiquing more art.
We've got 47 backers already. That's insane. Oh my god.
End it now.
Okay.
But we've officially gone off the rails.
Let me
I
just.
believe.
Let's do this.
Oh my god.